Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports TV. I'm your host, Gary Glenn. Got a lot of stuff to cover in this show, and we start with football, specifically the Battle of Oakwood, which was a hard-hitting and pretty well-played game, especially for a game to kick off the season. Johnson, the winner in this one, 19-13. It wasn't easy, though. Cedric Harris had 2 touchdowns, 18 yards, 6 yards, 176 yards on the ground, plus 16 more receiving. Luis Hernandez had 75 yards for the night, 61 of those coming on a long touchdown run. West Hall's quarterback Zach English had 81 yards rushing, 136 yards passing. The Spartans scored on a fumble return of around 30 yards by Ty Statham and a 2-yard run by Cameron Johnson with a kick by Connor Kirkland. The Knights then withstood a late drive by the Spartans to take the win and the battle for the paddle. And we bring to the studio now Johnson coach Jason Rockmore. Coach Rock, it was an interesting scene in the middle of that football field on Friday night. I was there with you, and man, I'm talking about some real excitement for the kids.
It was. We told all week, we just talked about the atmosphere and what we expected. And I'm telling you, it was probably one of the greatest atmospheres that I've ever been around for a high school football game. Just unbelievable.
It was an interesting game, back and forth. You'd think that one team would start to dominate something and then get a break, and thought that you could capitalize on that, but nobody ever went away.
Yeah.
And they did have a shot there at the end.
Yeah. I mean, that's a ball game that. You look at the rivalry. It comes down usually to whoever has the ball last, or it's always been that type of game. But I think both teams can really take a lot out of it. As far as I don't think either team really quit. I think both teams fought to the last second, and we were fortunate enough that when all the time ran off the clock, we were ahead. So
I thought at times you controlled the line of scrimmage, which was a big key in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it all starts up front with us. Cedric, he's a great back, and he really is. But up front, that's where we really want to, just establish a physical presence. And we're getting better at that every day. And if you look at the high school level, and almost at any level, games are going to be won and lost at the line of scrimmage. And that's our incentives and our goal boards and our standards that we have both offensively and defensively. It starts up front.
I thought your quarterback did a good job running your offense.
Yeah, he did. And Paul, Paul has progressed each day, and we put a little more on his plate every week. And I think that it kind of dawned on him. He had a couple key carries, great reads where we pulled the ball, and he made great decisions with the football. First game of the season, penalties, hidden yards, turnovers are always a coach's concern. And we had some penalties at crucial times, and we did have those 2 turnovers. But for the most part, I thought we protected the ball well. We were able to sustain drives. We had an 18-play drive, 18 plays.
Yep.
And
control the clock.
Yeah, and it's hard to have an 18-play drive if you keep on shooting yourself in the foot. So I think at times we did well. But like I said, after we broke down the film, we still have a lot of work to do on our side.
I think it's really smart to rest Cedric Harris as much as you can, not play him on defense if at all possible, because I saw him in a couple of games last year, and it wasn't because he wasn't trying.
Right.
At the end of the game, he was out of gas.
Yeah, and a lot of that's philosophy. I feel like that. I think Cedric could be a great player no matter where he played. And we could put him at quarterback. He'd be a great quarterback. We could put him at defensive end. He'd be a good defensive end. What we've done as a staff is we've tried to maximize our roster and get the most out of what we have. And our philosophy is we have a guy that we feel like we can coach up and he play up to the standard that we have, then to give him an opportunity. I think late in the game, I think we had Cedric finished up with 40 carries.
Wow.
If you look at him in the 3rd and 4th quarter, he had some key runs, and I think that was able because he was able to rest a little bit on that side or on the defensive side of the ball.
Your defense. Talk about your defense. It only really gave up 1 touchdown.
Yeah. We were probably more lucky than good. I'm just going to be honest with you. We had some bust. Our secondary, we're starting 2 freshmen, and we're going to have some growing pains there. But, you know, this is what I love about it, is if you look at us on film and you just say, well, you know, we got to line up and play those guys, we're going to get after you. And I thought we did a good job. I mean, West Hall, you know, I don't think people give them enough credit. That's one of the biggest high school football teams that you're going to see. I mean, up front, they're huge. Their fullback is huge. You know, and you know, usually big teams that pound you like they want to pound you, it's hard to hold up to that. So, but defensively, I'm very pleased, very encouraged by what I've seen, and you know, I'm just excited it's only game one. You know, that's the good thing, is we got some time where we can kind of tweak some things and try to get better as this thing unwinds itself.
But you can't rest too long, and you can't rest on your laurels too long, because you got Oglethorpe County on Friday.
Yes, we do, and they're a well-coached football team. You know, they're very similar to we are. They want to be physical. I think they're very well coached, and they do a good job of doing what they do. So it's going to be another challenge for us. I'm going to be anxious to you know, get with the kids and get to work and see what we can come up with.
Calm them down a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's been, the last, you know, couple of days have been crazy. But you know, Gary, it's our community deserves that, and our school deserves that. And you know, like I said, you know, somebody asked me Friday. I said, nobody outside of our locker room, you know, except for our kids and our community, really expected to win this game. You know, I thought everybody was encouraged and said, you know, well, those guys will be better, but just not that much better. And so it was just a great way to kick off our season. You know, and again, I'm excited to be a part of it, and I'm just really looking forward to what the rest of the season has.
All right, Coach Rock. Thanks for coming in. Good luck.
Thanks for your
to the
time.
Knights the rest of the way. Right. Now, West Hall is off until September the 7th, so they got some time to work on some things, and they'll be hosting Chestatee. Earlier this week, Tracy Giles and I dropped by West Hall to talk with first-year Spartan coach Tony Lottie.
Tony, first of all, let me tell you how impressed I was at the overall game between you and Johnson. I thought it was, particularly for a first game, was very well played. I think we only had a couple of penalties over 5 yards all night long.
Yeah, and that's what I was pleased with too. I think those types of mistakes were kept to a minimum, and you know, it was a disciplined game. There was, you know, high intensity, and it was a clean football game, which was good.
And a huge crowd. It may have set a record at Johnson, I don't know, but there were people spilling on the banks. You know, when you walk behind the press box, I mean, I know you saw the stands before, but let me tell you, I was behind that, and there were people walking around up there. There was almost nowhere for anybody to get.
Well, what was nice was not just to have our community back, but our student body. That's one of the big things this morning. You know, our student body showed up, and you know, I told them they play an important part of what we're doing here, and so it was good. My kids enjoyed seeing that, and so it's good. We're on the right road to getting Spartans back where they need to be. We're just young and inexperienced, but that's okay. We're learning our lessons as we go. We'll fix the problems, and we'll continue to move forward towards our goals.
Let's talk about the game itself. It was a game of huge momentum swings. One side, you thought somebody was going to do something, and they were just going to, you know, go ahead and take it on down and maybe put up 2 or 3 scores on. But everybody seemed to respond. It was punch and counterpunch all night long.
It sure was, and you know, one of the things you talk about there was, I think that's where our youth showed. There was a couple of times there where we did not take advantage of opportunities, and that's one of the things I'm going to be pointing out to the kids. You know, we had the ball deep in their territory, and we either turned it over or we came away with no points, and then, you know, after the onside kick, we were down there again, and then we came away with no points. So our youth is, and that's one of the things with explaining to the kids, you know, you got to capitalize when you do those things. So so that's where our focus is. Our attitude's good. We you know, it hurt, which is a good thing. That's what I was looking for. We didn't quit. I was proud of that, but at the same time, we lost, and that's not going to be acceptable. So, and the kids know that. The kids were hurting, which that's a good thing. So we care, and we're going to correct the mistakes, and we're going to keep moving forward. Our goals are all still out there, and that's one of the things I told the kids. You know, we're playing Quad A teams going in. Johnson's a good football team. The Harris kid is an outstanding back. The Millwood kid, I mean, the Borders kid. You know, that was really my first look at those kids was Friday night, and those are some talented kids. So good for them. They made the plays when they needed to make the plays.
I thought your kids grew up a little bit during the course of the game went on, particularly your quarterback.
Well, Zach's a gutsy kid. He's a competitor, which is why he's playing that position. And, when you coach a competitor, especially being the great kid that he is, there's that tendency to want to do everything, and he wants the football, which is great. Our kids now are getting to the mindset that they want the football. They want to be in that position. As I think as in the past, it was, let somebody else do it. So, we're making those strides. But Zach's a kid that is going to continue to get better because, him and the other kids, they want to get better. And so we'll focus on the mistakes that we made with a young quarterback, being his first time, as his first game as a varsity quarterback. So he did some great things, and he did some things we're going to improve on, but I'm not worried about him.
Before we get away, we got to talk a little bit about that pep rally, where you brought back former Spartan, former Georgia Bulldog, former Atlanta Falcon, Martrez Miller. And I think that's part of what you're talking about, Tony, getting the community back involved in things and building a legacy here.
Well, that's the thing.
And you brought him out in a crate.
Well, and when I first, asked Martrez, because one of the things that we want to do, at the scrimmage, recognize football alumni and recognize the very first football team at West Hall High School. And there was 2 members there that had passed away. And so I wanted to have something in the stadium to recognize for those families, those 2 players. And so it's all part of bringing back our community. Well, with the new uniforms that we needed desperately, I approached Martrez and I told him, I said, no, you don't understand how I do things. I said, you are the only player at West Hall history to have your number retired. I said, and from what I gather, you have not been to West Hall in quite some time. And we shared some personal conversations. What a tremendous kid he is. And I'm so proud of him. I'm hoping he continues to let me be a part of his life and having him back around. But when I told him I was putting him in a box, he just kind of looked at me and said, Coach, are you serious? I said, come on, Trez, you got to help us out. So I said, it's going to mean a lot to my guys and the kids. And I said, I want to make it a special moment for you, bringing you back to West Hall. So it went off like it was planned. So and it just seemed to be a good thing to do.
Again, West Hall is off until September the 7th when they host Chestatee, and the Knights of Jason Rockmore at home on Friday with Oglethorpe County. They snapped that 12-game losing skid. Coach Rock also in his first year with the Knights of Johnson. Other football from last Friday, not easy on the road for East Hall. Vikings fell hard at Dawson County, 42-0. Vikes will be at Chattooga on Friday. Some other big games this week. West Forsyth at Gainesville on a Thursday night, while on Friday it's North Hall at Chestatee. Lakeview hosts Fellowship Christian, and Flower Branch hosts Northside Warner Robins. We hand out some awards when we come back.
This program is also brought to you by Longstreet Cafe, now with 2 locations in Gainesville, 1043 Riverside Terrace and 405 Pearl Nicks Parkway. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday through Saturday. Longstreet's got the reputation for Gainesville's fastest drive-thru and the best fried chicken you'll ever sink your teeth into. Plus veggies, a full salad bar, and great desserts. Check today's menu at www.longstreetcafe.com. Call a friend and meet them for a hearty meal at Longstreet Cafe, where they put the home in the cooking.
Your one-stop spot for complete auto repair is the Auto Works shop on Sprout Springs Road. On everything from oil changes to brakes, new and used tires and tune-ups, even the big jobs like transmissions. The specialists at the Auto Works can have you up and running just like that. You talk about value. The Auto Works will not be undersold on used tires or any locally priced repair job. Ask about special discounts for students and teachers with your ID. That's the Auto Works at 6671 Spout Springs Road, just past Flowery Branch High and Spout Springs Elementary Schools. Phone 770-967-1732. All right, as we told you last week, it's time to hand out our yearly awards from last summer to this past spring, and our finalists for the teams, coaches, athletes of the year from summer of 2011 to spring of 2012. First of all, from the summer of 2011, the co-ed champions of the summer, Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club, for their 10th national championship, and they were our champions as well. Our athletes from the summer, for the males, Iron Dog Eric Head for his all-time All-Association world record of 501 pounds in the bench press in the 132-pound division. Our female athlete of the summer was Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club's kayaker, Emily Vinson, for her gold, silver, and bronze medal efforts at the Sprint National Championships last August. Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club coach Claudia Suhr repeated as our co-ed Coach of the Summer. All right, from fall of 2011, our athletes, the females, Taylor Long, West Hall Cross Country, region champ, 4th at state, 2nd in Hall County in a times all area. For the males, Luis Gonzalez, North Hall Cross Country, 2nd in the region, 4th at state, times all area, and 2nd in the National Junior Olympics. Cross Country helped his team of North Hall Cross Country to a 2nd place in the state last year. Deshaun Watson, quarterback, Gainesville High School football, a total yardage of 4,324 yards, 57 touchdowns, Hall County records in those, Times Player of the Year, All-State, Georgia Sports Writers Association Offensive Player of the Year, and he went on to play basketball in the winter. Our teams of the fall, Flower Branch girls cross country 2nd in the state, Flower Branch boys cross country state champions. The coach, Jimmy Sarles, Flower Branch cross country, the boys state champs and the girls the runners-up. And now he also coaches track in the springtime. Now, from the winter of 2011-2012, our girls' athlete of the winter was Jasmine Jenkins of East Hall basketball. Averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, over 3 assists, and a steal and a half for the Lanier Land and Region champions, only lost by 1 in the state playoffs to the team that finally won it all. She played through a bad ankle sprain to do all that, and was the Times Girls Player of the Year. Boys Athlete of the Winter from Flower Branch Wrestling, Nick Langford, who began the season with a tournament title and a Most Outstanding Wrestler and ended it with a state championship at 132 pounds, and between picked up a lot more accolades, including a championship and Most Outstanding Wrestler at Hall County for the lighter classes. Our HCS TV Boys Team of the Winter was also from wrestling, the Chastity Squad. They won 32 matches and qualified for the state duels and wound up 7th in the state. And Coach Kerry Whitlow, our boys team Coach of the Winter, also the Times Wrestling Coach of the Year. The girls team of the winter and their coach were the winners of our top honors on the female side. North Hall girls basketball, Lanier Land runners-up, region champions and state Final Four participants, and Coach Christy House took home the Wintertime Awards for the girls team and coach. All right, let's turn now to the spring of 2012. Our athletes, the males, once again, North Hall's Luis Gonzalez, best in the AAA 3,200 meters, knocking almost 7 seconds off his personal best mark in the event to win the state championship in 9:28.78. Austin Eckenroth was our winner in the spring. He's from Flowery Branch Track and Field. He had the state's highest vault during the spring at 16.8 in the region. He won his region, and then the 4A state championship at 15.5 3/4, defending his title. Selected by the Atlanta Track Club as the recipient of the Bruce Yohe Award for Field Event Performer of the Year, Times Boys Track Athlete of the Year. Our female athlete of the spring, Ellen Kircher, Flowery Branch High School Olympic weightlifter, won nationals, state, finished 11th in the world at 48 kilograms, called the best 48-kilogram female Olympic lifter in the country by her coach. On March 3rd at the national championship, she won her 3rd national championship in 8 months, won her 4th Georgia State High School Championship too. Back on June the 25th of 2011, Ellen had won the 17-16 Youth National Championship. She broke the division national record in the clean and jerk. The American Open in December of 2011, Ellen placed 2nd, but set 2 more records in the 17-16 division. And on January 27th at the National Juniors, won her 2nd national championship. Our teams and coaches of the spring, Hall County Golf, boys and girls, Hall County region and state champions, and the golf coaches, Gainesville, Bryson Worley, boys, and Clay McDonald of the girls were our coaches of the spring. Time now to name our winners. And I know it's apples and oranges, but we're going to hand out some awards anyway. Our male athlete of the year for his overall year, Luis Gonzalez, North Hall Cross Country and Track, for his efforts throughout the year and his accomplishments on the state and national levels. He's running at Truett McConnell. Our female athlete of the year for Hall County Sports TV and North Georgia Video Productions, Ellen Kircher, Flowery Branch Olympic weightlifting. What a year she had. On the state, national, and world levels, she is among the elite lifters. She's in Colorado on a scholarship. And a special Masters Athlete of the Year award goes to Georgia Iron Dog Tim T. Moon for all his titles and records in the bench press. The man is a machine. Time now to move to the teams. Our co-ed team, Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club. How can you argue with all that excellence? Males and females, Gainesville Golf, county, region, and state champions. They won it all at every level. Now, our male team coach of the year, Jimmy Sarles of Flowery Branch High School Cross Country and Track. He coached a state champion team in the fall and a state champion pole vaulter in the spring. Our female team, Clay McDonald, Gainesville Girls Golf, and our co-ed team, our coach, Claudia Sewer, Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club. I know, again, we're comparing a lot of different sports, but we like to recognize excellence. Hey, speaking of excellence, we had some excellence in cross country over the weekend. Back with that story in just a moment.
If you've suffered storm damage or just want to upgrade your home, then turn to Rock Solid Construction. Rock Solid specializes in new roofs, room additions, porches, decks, custom interior trim, and even finished basements. Let the experts at Rock Solid Construction improve your home with new trim, new posts for the porch, or maybe even upgrade your deck with synthetic boards. No more rotting or warping. Call 678-300-0702 for your free estimate. That's 678-300-0702. Rock Solid, done right the first time.
There are moments in life that you wish would last forever. Dreams that really do come true. Treasures worth protecting. And a future to prepare for. Turner Wood & Smith is with you every step of the way. Established in the Gainesville area in 1905. Turner Wood & Smith has become Northeast Georgia's largest independent insurance agency by offering professional service at competitive prices. Turner Wood & Smith, insuring your future since 1905.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the show. I'm Gary Glenn. This is Hall County Sports. And for this segment, we sort of hit the road. Well, kind of. The season got underway for a lot of our cross-country teams this past Saturday in the Northeast Georgia Championships run over at Athens Christian. And it was quite a weekend for the North Hall boys and Chestatee girls. The Trojans ran first in the championship division on the boys' side, and the Lady War Eagles finished a strong second, losing to Jefferson on a tiebreaker in what they call the varsity class. North Hall had 4 boys in the top 10, 3 in the top 5. Whit Nix at 16-20 led the Trojans in third. Tucker Cicero 16-21 right behind him in fourth, and Bryce Schubert 16-23 in fifth. Zach Hill was 16-52 and in 10th. For Chastatee's girls, Tori Mullinax at 20-32 won the varsity race, and Lady War Eagle teammate Sarah Beth English at 20-34 finished second. Flower Branch boys and girls teams both finished third in the championship races. The Falcons led by Taylor Fiorello in 6th and Nick Ashmead in 7th place. Girls top finishers Cassie Ward in 4th and Lauren Kirk in 9th. The Lady Trojans were 4th in that championship race category behind some 5A and 6A schools led by Victoria Rogers, who ran 9th in 23:35. Now, Lakeview boys were 4th in the varsity race. Junior Dustin Snyder finished 2nd overall in 17:43. Sophomore Lewis Brooks was 3rd in 17:44, and junior Dalton Snyder 4th in 17:49 in that Northeast Georgia Championship. Next up for some of our local teams, the War Eagle Invitational hosted by Chestatee High and run at the course at Chestatee Academy, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks. We bring to the show now, though, Coach Drew Rogers, who is the head coach of North Hall Cross Country, boys and girls. And Drew, good weekend for you.
Oh yeah, you never know how it's going to start in the first meet of the year, but we were very pleased. 7 of our top 8 boys actually set PRs. They ran faster than they finished up the year last year, which is very impressive, which goes to show all that hard work and stuff they did over the summer, all the miles and sweat they put in really paid off.
And you really, it is sort of particularly this first time out, a venture into the unknown, don't you? Okay. You don't know what you're going to run, and you haven't seen anybody else. So, right. I mean, you got to be pleased with coming in first on the boys' side, and you said 4th and behind the 5A and 6A schools on the girls' side.
Right. I was pleased. I mean, with the girls also. The girls ran great. They came in 4th, but like I said, we lost to the 1st and 3rd ranked team in 5A, and we also lost to a 6A ranked team. So, you know, we like where we are in both of these to the start. We hope we're going to get better, but we like where we are, where we're starting.
Now you had some holes to fill, though, because some people that were there last year that really scored for you, and on into the spring. I'm thinking Luis Gonzalez, people like that. They're just not there, so you got some holes to fill.
Well, we miss them, but if you notice, we hadn't missed them too bad. I mean, we hate to see Lewis go and Brandon go. They were our team leaders last year, and it was a big loss. But those other 3 stepped it up. Those 3 times are right where Brandon was running last year. So they've picked up like 30 seconds from where they finished off last year. So they're up, you know, about running where Brandon was last year. And then, like I said, those 3 and Zach Hill's right behind them. Then our number 5 runner, we had like 5 or 6 kids who came in pretty good for our 5, 6, 7, and 8 runners. So, and the boys are looking good with a lot of depth. On the girls' side, let me correct one thing. You said 23:35. That's what it said in the paper. Yeah. But it was actually 20:35. I don't want.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't want Victoria's mom to get mad again.
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, I'm going to correct that right now. 20:35.
20:35.
Yeah.
and then. But
your daughter.
We had Michaela Ellis set a PR by a good amount. A sophomore who's really worked hard over the last year. Then Katie McDowell's doing really good. Our number 3 girl right now. And then coming in 4 and 5 was April Barth and Savannah Mendenhall. We have a new runner, first-year senior, Alex Lawson, came in 6th, which is very impressive for somebody who's never run cross-country before. So we have a good good 6 or 7 in the girls too.
Well, assuming most of the rest of these times are okay here, I mean, I'm looking at this, and for some reason now, over the last several years, Hall County has become a hotbed of cross country and talent.
It has. I mean, I was mostly pleased with our school, but I mean, Flowery Branch is up there every year, so that's not a big surprise. Chastity looked awful strong. I mean, especially their girls. Their boys looked good, but their girls looked especially strong. Lakeview, I mean, 3 in the top 4. 3 in the top 4 in the varsity race. So I mean, they're looking good. Riverside's much improved. So I mean, Hall County sports is really, Hall County cross country is really looking up, and I expect West Hall to be good also.
Drew Rogers, North Hall Cross Country. Drew, thanks for coming in, and good luck to the Trojans and the Lady Trojans. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I'm back to wrap it up for you in just a moment. Hello, everybody. Gary Glenn back on the set at Hall County Sports TV here. Now, longtime viewers of the show know that we have our main studio at McKelvey Road United Methodist Church in Oakwood, and the church is a longtime sponsor of our show. I also serve as lay leader here at the church, and I want to invite you to a special laity day this coming Sunday, September 2nd. Renee Barnett will bring the message at 8:30, Kai Bassett will speak at 10, and I'll conduct the 11 a.m. service. Come see us at 3606 McKelvey Road in Oakwood this coming Sunday. I think you'll enjoy it, and may God bless you.
Hall County Sports is brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals, and remember, when you go Green Ford. By Mountain View Auto Repair, a full-service shop for all of your automotive needs. Call Danny at Mountain View Auto Repair at 770-535-7278. And by McKelvey Road United Methodist Church. Visit us on McKelvey Road in Oakwood with 3 worship services every Sunday morning, Kids Town and adult small groups. McKelvey Road United Methodist Church is dedicated to transforming the world through the good news of Jesus Christ. Back to wrap it up here for Hall County Sports TV. Some of the outstanding performances from this past week. Senior pitcher Jessica Gunner only surrendered a single hit for Flowery Branch in a 16-0 win over East Hall. Jessica Thomas was 4 for 4 with 3 singles and 4 RBI. Madison Whitmire went 3 for 3 for Flowery Branch with 3 RBI. And Gunner went the distance again for Flowery Branch and got another win as the Falcons beat North Cobb 9-3 in the Buccaneer Bash in Ackworth. Whitmire was 4 for 4 with a couple of doubles and 3 RBI. Lily Parks had a 2-run double. West Hall whacked Johnson 10-2. Madison Harker smacked a 2-run double, and Susan Vasquez and Victoria Tuttle each had 2 hits. The win went to Carly Halsey. All right, time now to name our athletes of the week. For the boys, Cedric Harris of Johnson football for his fine night in the Battle of Oakwood and led the Knights to a win. And for the girls, a tie. Madison Whitmire of Flowery Branch softball, who batted 1,000, 7 for 7, and drove in 6 in 2 games last week. And Tori Mullinax of Chestatee Cross Country for her title in the Northeast Georgia Invitational. Some other sporting news for you. Flowery Branch alumnus Ishmael Hollis will join the North Georgia College basketball team this fall after spending the previous 2 seasons at Western Carolina, where he did play in 39 games and averaged 2.7 points and 1.7 rebounds a game. Hollis was a 4-year varsity letterman at the Branch, won Region Player of the Year his senior season. He averaged 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks through his 4 seasons and set the school record for most blocks in a single season his sophomore year. He also earned All-Area, All-State, and All-American designations during his high school career. I guess they're going to be glad to have him with the Saints. A couple of brothers, both alumni of Johnson High, wound up duking it out for the Royal Lakes Club Golf Championship. It took an eagle on the last hole for Jared Cagle to beat brother Grant by 2 shots, 216 to 218, after Grant closed with a 68 on the final day. It was Jared's 2nd club title, by the way, at Royal Lakes, this one at 3 over for the tournament. On the women's side, Mary Beth Kitties won her 8th championship with a 2-shot win over Garnett Smith. And runners, next Monday, Labor Day, there are races put on by Action Ministries at Gainesville State College. The Action Dash 5K will run off at 8 a.m. There's also a 1-mile fun run. Info can be had by calling Terry Armour at 770-531-0144, extension 3. That's Terry Armour, 770-531-0144, extension 3. Or you can visit the website, www.action-org, and click on the Gainesville site. That's our show for this week. Join us next week for more Hall County Sports. I'm Gary Glenn. Hello, everybody. Gary Glenn back on the set at Hall County Sports TV here. Now, longtime viewers of the show know that we have our main studio at McKelvey Road United Methodist Church in Oakwood, and the church is a longtime sponsor of our show.
I also serve as lay leader here at the church, and I want to invite you to a special Laity Day this coming Sunday, September 2nd. Renee Barnett will bring the message at 8:30, Kai Bassett will speak at 10, and I'll conduct the 11 a.m. service. Come see us at 3606 McKelvey Road in Oakwood. This coming Sunday, I think you'll enjoy it, and may God bless you.